Scott in Tampa. He says hello. Scott, welcome. How are you today, pal? What's going on? Good to have you with us. Go ahead.
Hey, Doggy. So, two things. One on the All Star game and then one on you. Here's the thing about the All Star game, Chris. What a joke. Okay? I thought we lived in a country where we can agree to disagree on public policy and not have it cost you everything. Who are they hurting now? They're hurting the local business, the restaurants, the vendors, everybody. Because let's just assume maybe half of the stadium would have been filled for the All Star game, maybe even more with the way we're getting all vaccinated in this country. So who are you hurting? You are hurting all those local businesses in and around that stadium that would have had a fortune. Okay, Chris?
You're right.
And this is the United States of America. We can agree to disagree and not cost us everything. And this is what leads me to you. And I love you. I've listened to you since I lived in New York when you were on WMCA. And you may argue with me here, and you may not say this. I don't believe what you said at the top of the hour is what you truly believe, Chris. I think because of what's going on in this country, you're scared to come out and be, quote, unquote, on the wrong side of this discussion. Forget about right and wrong. You, Chris, I think you're scared, and rightfully so. People are losing their jobs for way less than this. And if you got on the air right now and came in on the wrong side, Sirius would probably be all over you. And I don't know whether you're going to agree with me on that because you can't. But again, I've listened to you. I know where you kind of lean politically. We all do. But, Chris, it's a joke. The country is a joke. If you can't stand up for what you believe without the fear of retribution, then we've lost this country. It's over.
Well, let's do two things. First off, from a Manfred perspective, he has to look at this as a business. And he has to look at this.
Chris? Then the Atlanta Braves need to move out of Atlanta tomorrow.
Well, I mean, listen, you can make that argument, but he's not worried. Let's worry about this for a second. He can't have an All-Star game in Atlanta and then have Judge, Stanton, Tony Clark, Mookie Betts, Lindor, all these guys not show up and protest. He can't have that.
Well, you know what, Chris? That's
you got to be. I mean, whether he. Well, hold on, but he can't worry. He's not worried about it. He's worried about his sport. He's not worried about right now whether, we don't like this.
And those players are a fraud, too. If the Yankees go to Atlanta, Aaron Judge can't play. He has to sit.
That's a different argument, and you're right about that. If Betts is so upset, I'm using him as an example. If Betts is so upset when the Dodgers visit Atlanta, don't play in the games. So, I mean, that is a...
And you know that won't happen. You know that won't happen. And again,
I agree, but forgetting that, Manfred's responsibility, Scott, is to the sport. And he has to look at his All-Star game, which is a big convention for Major League Baseball. He has to look at this. He wants it to go without a hitch. He wants to celebrate baseball a little bit, have the little, the theme park with baseball and have the home run derby and, have everybody feel good about the sport and a nice hot weather Sunday, a hot weather weekend in the middle of July, maybe with a big ballpark filled with fans. And the last thing he needs, and you can't blame him, the last thing he needs is sitting there and having 15 of his black players not show up.
Chris, then you know what? We've lost the country. If we can't agree to disagree on public policy, the way to do it is the next time there's an election, vote that out. To do it this way, Chris, is a joke. And again, that led me to your comments at the top. I know you can't admit it, but I've listened to you forever and know where you lean. And that is, you are 100% right to be fearful because they will come after you. And when they come after you now, you're in trouble.
Well, here's the thing I would say. Good call, Scott. Here's the thing I would say. I am not sharp enough on these. I haven't followed it that carefully until the last 2 or 3 days. I am not that sharp enough on the issues to give you an opinion one way or the other. I mean, right now, I am not sharp enough. So if I take one side or the other, I'm not going to be able to. I can be sharp enough on other things, but I'm not that sharp right now on arguing whether I think this is a biased legislation or not. I'm not capable of giving you an answer. The one thing I will tell you, though, is I'm not going to sit there and read, all the liberals out there telling me this is the worst thing in the world, this legislation. I'm not going to pay any attention to that. They're not going to convince me of that at all. I'll make my own decision. But I haven't gone through it deeply enough to have an opinion on it. That's really the main reason why I've laid low with it. Now, your point is well taken. Your point is very well taken. If the players want to sit there and make a big stand and are that upset by this, what they should do is not go to Atlanta to play the ball games against the Braves. And not only that, give up the money. Okay? If they really want to sit there and get pats on the back from me, if you're an African-American player or any player who decides that you are so upset by this legislation that you are not going to go to Atlanta to participate in any ball games against the Braves, you should tell your team, don't pay me, dock me 3 or 4 games off, whatever it might be. If it means that much to you, I'm not playing. That's what you should do. That would show me something. They don't want to play in the All Star game anyway, half these guys. I've told you that 1,000 times. I know I'm there. They don't want to play the games. They like the pats on the back. They like the accolades for making the All Star team. They'd rather have the 3 days off. So if they really wanted to make a stand, don't go to the game. And that's another good point you made. The one that I read people saying we should bail out in the Masters. That's never going to happen. But if you bail out in the Masters, you know how many little guys you're going to hurt down in Atlanta, black and white? The people who have the hotels, the restaurants, in that little town of Augusta, Georgia, which basically thrives because of the week or so that the Masters is there, right down the street on Magnolia Lane. You're going to destroy them financially. They were already killed last year. They didn't have a Masters in April, and no fans came in November. So they were already getting murdered. Selling T-shirts, all the things that, the ancillary ways that town survives because of the Masters. So the media wants to take the Masters away without thinking about all the people you're going to hurt. Small people who need that money. Democrats, probably all of them. All sorts of races, and you're going to kill them by taking the Masters away. So you got to look at it from that standpoint, too, and that's what Scott was indicating as far as the businesses are concerned. But Manfred himself didn't have a choice. Zake's got a sports bite. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Back after this.
Mad